Welcome back to the deep dive.
Yeah.
Today, we're focused on finding maybe a shortcut to feeling better,
Mm-hmm.
but specifically one that kind of bypasses all the complexity and, frankly, the cost of a lot of modern supplements.
Yeah.
We've got a really interesting stack of sources here, and they all zero in on one, well, ancient and pretty inexpensive tool, Epsom salts.
That's right. We are doing a deep dive into magnesium sulfate today.
Okay.
And the goal, I think, is to move beyond just the simple idea of, taking a bath.
Right.
We want to understand the sophisticated mechanisms behind what some sources are calling the outside-in health solution.
Outside in. I like that. So the mission is to really pull out the powerful reasons why this transdermal absorption, through the skin, why that might actually be a better path sometimes.
Better for certain things, yeah.
Like boosting circulation, helping with joint and muscle pain, sleep,
Sleep, definitely.
and crucially, detoxification. Especially, it seems, releasing heavy metals. We need to figure out how to use this the right way for maximum effect.
Okay, so to start, we really have to tackle this really frustrating thing that happens in preventative health.
Oh, yeah.
It's why people often feel worse when they're actually trying really hard to get healthy, taking good supplements, trying to detox.
I hear this constantly. Someone starts a great new protocol. Maybe they're taking powerful antioxidants or B vitamins or maybe starting intermittent fasting.
Things that should help.
Exactly. They're trying to do everything right and bam, headaches, fatigue, brain fog. Why does trying to improve things sometimes feel like hitting a brick wall?
Well, the sources, they explain this really well using this analogy of a clogged drain pipe.
Okay.
When you try to detoxify, you're essentially stirring up all this accumulated waste inside the body.
Makes sense.
But, and this is the key, if your elimination capacity is compromised, meaning your main drainage channels like your kidneys, your colon, and importantly, your skin, if they aren't working efficiently, those toxins you just stirred up, they literally have nowhere to go.
Ah, okay. So you've successfully, loosened up all the internal gunk.
Right.
But the exit doors are jammed shut, and that waste just recirculates.
Precisely. You end up causing an internal reintoxication, basically poisoning yourself with the stuff you were trying to get rid of.
Wow. Okay.
And the problem gets much, much worse if you're relying only on oral supplements.
Why is that?
Well, think about it. If your gut health is, not great, maybe you've got dysbiosis, SIBO, or just general intestinal permeability, what people call leaky gut.
Right. That's pretty common.
Very common. Then you've already got a compromised highway for absorbing nutrients in the first place.
Wait, okay. I get not absorbing nutrients well, but how does a leaky gut stop detoxification? Doesn't the liver still do its job, regardless of how the vitamins got in?
That's a really critical point. Yes, the liver is working. It's trying to process toxins. But if that intestinal lining is too permeable, leaky, you don't just fail to absorb the good stuff efficiently. You also struggle to properly recapture and eliminate the toxins that the liver has processed and tagged for removal, usually through bile and then out via your stool.
Ah, so the exit route through the gut is also blocked or leaky.
Exactly. The whole system gets backed up. It forces your body to spend precious metabolic resources just managing the inflammation from the leaky gut and the circulating toxins instead of using them for, general well-being.
So you're spending money on top-tier vitamins, maybe liver support stuff?
Yeah, but the body just can't manage the input or the output effectively.
That really paints a clear picture of a major bottleneck.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is where the Epsom salt bath comes in. Its unique advantage, you said, is working from outside in.
Precisely. It completely bypasses that compromised digestive system.
Clever.
We're basically jumping right over the problematic gut and feeding the body what it needs, magnesium and sulfate, while, crucially, at the same time, opening up that skin elimination route.
Okay, but you need heat for this, right? It's not just about the salt.
Absolutely. The heat is essential. You need warm water first to relax the muscles, but most importantly, to open up the pores.
I noticed the sources were super specific about the water temperature. They said aim for, 37 to 39 degrees Celsius?
Yeah, that's about 98.6 to 102.2 Fahrenheit.
Why so precise? Why not just, a nice hot bath?
Well, that specific range, it's just slightly warmer than your ideal core body temperature, which is around 36.5 Celsius.
Yeah.
If the water's too cool, the pores just don't open enough for really effective absorption and drainage. But if the water's too hot, you risk excessive heat stress or unnecessary load on your cardiovascular system that actually drains energy away from the restorative process we're trying to encourage.
Got it. So that 37 to 39 range is like the sweet spot.
Exactly. It maximizes the opening of the skin pores while keeping your body in a state of relaxation.
Okay, so the pores are open thanks to the warm water. Then the magnesium sulfate gets to work. Tell us about the two parts. What's the magnesium doing and what's the sulfate doing?
It's a really wonderful synergy, actually. The magnesium, that's your muscle relaxer and your neurological buffer.
Okay.
It gets into the bloodstream pretty quickly through the skin, and it immediately starts working to calm the nervous system, relax muscle fibers. That's key for improving circulation and easing pain.
And the sulfate.
The sulfate, well, that's the real powerhouse for detoxification.
Yeah.
Your body absolutely needs sulfate for its primary sulfation pathways in the liver.
Sulfation pathways, what do they do?
They're critical for processing environmental toxins, and they're specifically involved in chelating. That means binding to heavy metals to get them ready for elimination.
Okay, binding to heavy metals.
Yeah.
That's significant. And this leads to maybe the most interesting detail I saw. The function is bidirectional. It's not just minerals going in.
Correct. That's key. As your body is absorbing the magnesium and sulfate inward through those open pores, those same open pores are simultaneously allowing waste products to move outward. It improves what the sources call cutaneous drainage.
Skin drainage.
Exactly. It gives your body a third major exit route for toxins alongside the kidneys and the colon.
So you're giving the body the tools and opening an extra door for the trash to leave.
That's it. That dual action is why this simple, cheap bath can sometimes be more effective than a really complex, expensive vitamin protocol, especially if your gut isn't working well.
Okay, the mechanism is clear now. Let's get practical. How do we actually do this right? For a standard bathtub soak, what's the right amount of salts and how long do we stay in?
Okay, for a full bathtub, you'll want to use roughly 1/2 kilogram of Epsom salts.
1/2 kilo. That's about, what, 2 cups?
Yeah, around 2 cups is a good measure.
Yeah.
And you need to stay submerged for a minimum of 15 minutes. But, and this is important, especially when starting out, absolutely no more than 20 minutes.
Okay, why the hard stop at 20 minutes? Is there like a danger of absorbing too much?
It's not really about over-absorbing the minerals. It's more about the intensity of the initial detox mobilization. For people who are new to this or maybe have a higher toxic load, that sudden increase in elimination can actually be a bit overwhelming. Staying in longer than 20 minutes might just push you into that feeling of discomfort, maybe mild detox symptoms kicking in.
Which is what we want to avoid.
Exactly. The goal here is gentle, consistent progress, not a big shock to the system.
Makes sense. And timing seems important too, especially around food. The sources say wait at least 2 hours after eating. Why is an empty stomach so critical here?
Well, when you eat, your body shifts its resources, blood flow, metabolic energy heavily towards the digestive system. Peristalsis, breaking down food, absorbing nutrients.
Right, big job.
Yeah. So if you jump in the bath right after eating, you're asking your body to divert blood flow and energy away from digestion and towards your skin for this absorption and detox process.
Kind of pulling it in two directions.
Exactly. It can lead to discomfort, maybe indigestion, and it just makes the bath less effective because the resources are split. Waiting 2 hours ensures your body is in more of a restful state.
So it can fully focus on the bath's benefits.
Right. Maximum energy can go toward that absorption and elimination rather than competing with digestion.
So ideally, this is something you do maybe late afternoon or evening, say 2 hours after dinner.
That's the ideal time, yeah. Tardenoche, as one source put it. Late afternoon, early evening.
And frequency. How often should we be doing this? We don't want to overdo it.
The recommendation is generally to start slow, maybe once a week, consistently for about 3 months, like a dedicated period.
Okay, 3 months, once a week. Then what?
After that initial period, you can usually scale back comfortably to maybe once every 2 months, just for maintenance.
Can you do it more often? Like if you really feel good after?
You can do it up to twice a week, but the sources kind of suggest that for most people, the extra benefit you get from going twice a week versus once a week often isn't really worth the extra cost of the salts and the time commitment.
Gotcha.
But honestly, the sleep benefits alone, they're often spectacular. That often makes the weekly commitment feel very worthwhile for people.
Okay, let's circle back quickly to that detox trap idea.
Mm-hmm.
Because this seems like where the Epsom salt bath really proves its value as a preventative measure.
Yes.
People often use these powerful internal binders, right? Things like micronizolite, activated charcoal, chlorella.
Strong stuff, yeah. meant to grab toxins.
So what happens when someone uses those, but they don't have that elimination capacity we talked about? Their drain pipes are clogged.
That's exactly where you run into the danger of the Herxheimer reaction,
Mm-hmm.
often called die-off syndrome.
Fluid cover.
Those binders are great at pulling toxins and heavy metals out of tissues where they've been stored. But if your main exit routes, your colon, your kidneys, are sluggish or overwhelmed, those toxins that have just been mobilized, they just get stuck circulating around your body. Everywhere.
That's that feeling of metabolic collapse you mentioned earlier.
That's exactly it. You feel intensely worse. Headaches, fatigue, flu-like symptoms. Because you've essentially flooded your system with toxic garbage that can't get out fast enough.
So the Epsom salt bath.
It acts like a crucial safety valve. By opening up and enhancing that skin drainage route, that cutaneous elimination,
Right.
you ensure that even if you are taking internal steps to mobilize toxins, there's an efficient alternate pathway for them to actually leave your body. It helps prevent that awful reactive depuration that makes so many people just give up on their health goals entirely.
That framing is incredibly useful, using the bath not just on its own, but as foundational support for other detox efforts or supplements. Okay, but huge practical question. What if someone listening doesn't have a bathtub? Or maybe Epsom salts are just hard to find or afford where they live?
Yeah, good question. There are definitely great alternatives. The first one is the foot bath.
Just soaking your feet.
Exactly. You can use any small basin or tub. The key thing is to make sure the water level comes up above your ankles.
Why above the ankles?
Your feet just have a really high density of pores and capillaries close to the surface. Soaking up past the ankles ensures you're covering a really effective absorption area.
Okay, and how does the dose and frequency change if you're just doing a foot bath?
You'll use much less salt, obviously, maybe
Mhm.
about half a cup to 1 cup of Epsom salts in the basin.
Okay.
And because the total surface area and the overall volume of absorption is lower compared to a full bath,
Yeah.
you can actually do the foot bath much more often, even daily, instead of limiting it to once or twice a week.
Oh, interesting. So it becomes more of a consistent, gentle maintenance practice.
Exactly. Great for sustained magnesium intake and also for localized relief in the feet and ankles.
All right, good option. Now, what if you can't even get the specific magnesium sulfate salts? Like they're just not available.
Okay, if you absolutely cannot find Epsom salts, magnesium sulfate, then you can use coarse salt as a substitute.
Like regular table salt.
Not table salt usually, more like coarse sea salt, rock salt. Sometimes it's called grilling salt or sal perillera in some places.
Got it. Coarse salt.
The idea here is you're trying to leverage the magnesium chloride that's naturally present in significant amounts in unrefined coarse salts.
Okay, so it's a different magnesium compound, but still beneficial. Does the amount you need change since it's a substitute?
Oh, drastically, yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of that ½ kilo or 2 cups we talked about for Epsom salts.
Yeah.
For coarse salt in a full bath, you need a lot more. The sources suggest using around 2 kilograms.
2 kilos. That's a huge amount of salt, like 4.5 pounds.
It is. It's a lot. And you'd probably soak a bit longer, too, maybe 20 to 30 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
And there's a really critical warning here. If you use that much coarse salt, you absolutely must make sure it all dissolves completely before you drain the tub.
Why is that?
That sheer volume of undissolved salt granules can definitely cause damage to your plumbing, your pipes, the drain itself. So stir it well, let it dissolve.
Okay, a very necessary practical tip for keeping your house intact. And I assume the sources are clear this substitute isn't quite the same.
Right. It won't offer the exact same potency, especially none of those specific sulfate detox benefits we discussed with magnesium sulfate.
But it still helps.
Oh yeah, it still delivers significant benefits, particularly for circulation, muscle relaxation, and general mineral absorption through the skin via the magnesium chloride. It's definitely a solid second best option if the ideal stuff just isn't accessible.
Good to have options.
Ultimately, though, it's important for everyone to remember, the Epsom salt bath, whether full bath or foot bath, it's a powerful tool. But its full effect, its real efficacy, still relies on combining it with, a reasonable quality of life.
Meaning you can't just soak away bad habits entirely.
Pretty much. You still need to pay attention to basics like sleep quality, some movement, decent nutrition. The bath helps tremendously, but it works best as part of a sensible overall approach.
Okay, so you mentioned earlier about combining this with internal supplements, how the bath makes them work better. This seems like where you can really leverage this simple tool. What are some good combinations?
Right, so when you improve your elimination pathways, especially opening up the skin route, you just create a cleaner internal environment overall. less background noise, metabolically speaking.
Makes sense.
And that makes almost any oral supplement you take potentially more effective because the body isn't struggling so much with backlog. For example, say you're dealing with brain fog or high stress.
Yeah.
Combining the calming effect of the bath with something like magnesium threonate orally, which is known for its ability to cross the blood-brain barrier, that could be incredibly potent for boosting cognitive energy and managing mood.
Interesting. So the bath helps systemically. The threonate targets the brain.
Exactly. Or similarly, if you're taking things like omega-3s or maybe N-acetylcysteine, NAC, specifically for liver support,
Right.
doing the baths regularly will likely make them work better because the liver can process waste more efficiently when the body has an easier time actually eliminating that processed waste through the skin.
That creates this really nice holistic loop, doesn't it? The bath helps fix the elimination bottleneck,
Right.
which then allows the expensive supplements you're taking to finally do their job properly. It turns a cheap bath into like a potent biohacking strategy almost.
Precisely. It lets those internal efforts finally pay off, which actually brings us nicely to our final provocative thought for you, the listener, to consider.
Okay, let's hear it.
Given how effective that rapid absorption of magnesium through the skin is at calming the nervous system,
I know we talked about that.
maybe you should view this weekly or bi-weekly bath practice as much more than just a remedy for sore muscle.
Okay, more than just physical.
Yeah, think about using this bath as a foundational practice to actively improve your systemic capacity to manage emotions and stress. Utilize that enhanced mental clarity and the sense of calm that comes from better mineral balance. Use that to better navigate the stresses and demands of your daily life.
So it's an investment in your emotional resilience, but you're doing it through a physical route.
Exactly. Using a simple physical tool to enhance your mental and emotional state. Give it a try. See how it feels beyond just the muscle relief.